मुसीबत ये है, परेशान ये है कि जब मैं किसी से सवाल पूछता हूँ हिंदी में, वो हमेशा जवाब या आंसर देता है अंग्रेजी में। और मैं तो बहुत गुस्सा होता है और मैं बोलता हूँ कि आप क्यों मुझसे हिंदी नहीं बोलता है। और मेरा ख्याल है कि एक कारण ये है कि वो दिखाना चाहता है कि वो अंग्रेजी बोल सकता है।
First, a report from our correspondent in Delhi, Mark Tully.
Indira Gandhi was taken to hospital after she'd been shot by 2 of her own security guards.
Perhaps Calcutta, because that's where I was born. And I'm a great believer in following your life, making itself, and make a lot of sense to me for my life to go full circle and come back to Calcutta. The only other place I would really love to live is somewhere in the countryside. But again, there are a lot of problems associated with that. And many people, when they retire, go and live in the countryside and they become very lonely. And I didn't want to become lonely. The biggest difficulty in learning Hindi is that everyone speaks to you in English. Whenever I start to speak to someone in Hindi, they will reply to me in English. That is the biggest difficulty. You're not surrounded by Hindi nearly enough. Well, I'm very fond of the word bandobast. It seems to be an onomatopoeic word. And I remember in as a child, my father telling people, bandobast karo. So that is rather a strange one. And then there are so many wonderful phrases in Hindi, but one I very much like is hal chal machal, spread chaos or that sort of thing. That's the first one which comes into my mind, perhaps because I've only learnt it quite recently. My favorite Indian food, I think, may be sarson ka saag and makki ki roti. Yes, I like Hindi movies very, very much indeed. I'm very fond of certain actors. I was very fond of Amrish Puri, and I'm very, very fond of Boman Irani, Nasruddin Shah in particular as well. And I've seen some wonderful films. I think Boman Irani in The Three Idiots was a wonderful movie. And Nasruddin Shah in so many films. I can't count the number of films with him I've seen. He's a wonderful actor as well. Well, I'd love, of course, to make my Hindi absolutely perfect. And then I think, yes, I would very much like to learn Bengali as well. Well, I think 2 ones. I made 4 radio programs about 4 different Indian musicians once. And that was great fun. I made a program about Ravi Shankar, which was wonderful. I found Ravi Shankar a delightful person. I thought he might be rather arrogant, but not a bit of it. I'm very fond of, I love the flute, so I'm very fond of Hari Prasad Chaurasia. I've, Meli Girja Devi, I've heard her sing. I've had so many different Indian classical musicians. Yes, of course, I've visited temples. I've been to services in temples. I've been to the Aarti often in temples. I've been to masjids as well. But I am a Christian by upbringing, and I'm still a church-going Christian. But I do believe from India I've learnt this, that there are many ways to God. As I say, I was born to be a Christian, so I stick to the Christian way. I have been to Indian gurus, I've written about it, I do yoga. I'm not very good at meditating, but I do meditation as well. Well, the most important Indians who've played a role in my life really are one family, the family of a man who was my first cook, Garib Das. His family have worked with me all the time I've been in India, almost all the time. And they have been wonderful to me and looked after me and really wonderfully well and played a huge role. And my 4 children all love them. And one of the things, whenever they come to India, they have to come and see Babli, who is my cook, and Kaka, who is her son, who is our driver, but does much more than driving.